Hey, Edible Lab here. It's back again with another video. I was away out of Sydney for a little bit, now I'm back. Summer properly started. There was a heat wave while I was gone. Yeah, nothing really took too much of a beating, but yeah, it's proper summer now. Summer's properly started for sure. Had some hot weather, proper hot weather. I just thought I'd take the chance to film today, but yeah, we'll just go around and see what's changed. Anyway, things are looking alright so far. One of the white sapote seedlings, really growing, looking quite healthy after I repotted it in my own potting mix. But they need a lot of water, so on some of the hot days it's drooped a bit, so I may move it somewhere that it's not absolutely getting hammered by the full sun. All the taro is doing pretty good. Some of the small ones took a bit of damage from the heat, just because this mix drains really easily. I think they dried out a bit, so I've moved some of them over there. But yeah, they're looking good. The lilies, the liliums have not flowered yet. I thought they may have flowered when I went away, but they have not yet, which is good. I'll get to see those. One good bit of news, this finger lime that lost all its leaves for probably like a year and a half, or for ages really, it's come back. It's actually come back. You can see it's got growth there, this purple red deep new growth. Ouch, they are really spiky though, and it's got some there as well. And it's actually pushing out buds all over. You can see there's a little one just there. So like, wow. I believe this is grafted onto a rootstock they often use for finger limes called Cox Hybrid Mandarin, which is some variation of, I believe, Citrus trifoliata. It's like a hybrid of Citrus or Poncirus trifoliata and something else. Anyway, it had so many issues. I think because just like finger limes are actually, I don't know, some people don't seem to have issues, but I had issues with this one. However, I'm starting to understand a bit more about their actual growth requirements. Despite them being a rainforest tree, they, like all other citrus, or like most citrus, need lots and lots of sun and lots of food. But I think these also, coming from a rainforest environment, need good drainage, which is what it didn't have. And I think it got root rot, and that caused it to drop all its leaves. Thankfully, finger limes can actually still do photosynthesis with the thorns. They're covered in these thorns, which are also green, so they've got chlorophyll in them too. So they can actually do photosynthesis to a limited extent with the thorns. And so just with lots and lots of water, lots of, some fertilizer too, and that mix is very well draining. It's like perlite, sand, cocoa, coir. It's actually come back from the heat wave, caused it to, it's come back to life, which I was amazed by. But that was exciting. Other finger lime down there. That one's pink ice, the variety, and this one I think is called Rainforest Pearl. The main difference is this one I believe is a cutting, not grafted, and this one is grafted. Other things doing alright. A few things in here. Dragon fruit, this one got a bit munched up, it's sort of healed. This one is a cutting of American Beauty I got from a friend's family, and it's doing pretty well. This one I got, I think this is just an unnamed white dragon fruit, but it was a rooted cutting I swapped for, and it's instead of growing from here, I was like, why isn't it growing? And then it's come out of here. So anyway, that at least is doing well for now. Various things, some Thai basil, some orchids, more dragon fruit cuttings, chestnut seedling. Gonna put it in a bit more shade now that we've got into proper summer. These like sun, but they kind of, it's still young, so it gets hammered a little bit. These are a burdock seeds I've sown before I went away, and they've germinated. Also known as gobor, widely grown in Japan and other parts of Asia. I've grown this before. It's a biennial plant, but you can sort of harvest it after 1 year. It makes these long, starchy roots that you can cook. They're great in a stew or a soup. They have a really nice earthy flavor, and I would recommend growing them. More things here. These are just a bunch of cardamom, other various things. Australian black apple, formerly Puteria, but it's now in the genus Plancanella. This thing, rain, shine, cold, doesn't care. It is as expected of a native, but it grows quite quickly. Had this one for a decent amount of time now, but it's doing pretty well. Citrus, this is my largest seedling. This one was it got a bit crisped up by the sun yesterday, but also got some leaf miner, but I think it will be fine. This is, it's just a volunteer seedling. So it's maybe about 2 years old, and I don't know exactly what it's from. I think it's probably from a lemon, but yeah, it looks interesting. So maybe one day it'll produce fruit and we can see what it gets. Otherwise, various other things, various more taro. This is the black magic I bought from Dailies. It's doing okay. Bit small. Thornless Atherton raspberry has put on a good amount of new growth. I still don't understand this plant. It seems to grow and then die back and grow and die back. It has made some fruit in spring though. Then we've got loquat. This is the one I grafted myself. This is Nagasaki Wase that I grabbed a scion from someone, and it's just put out a new flush of growth, getting a bit eaten. I temporarily dealt with the caterpillar problem, and now they seem to have come back again, so I'm going to have to handle that. Midgeonberry, Australian native, in the myrtle family, little shrub, makes nice tasty little berries. It's just done flowering. Oh, it's got some more flowers, it's pushing. I don't think it's set any fruit. This is a cutting that I bought from one of the botanical gardens here, just out of Sydney. Pear seedling I grew from seed. Mango seedling, it's doing okay. Got a bit of damage from anthracnose, but they come through. Various things in here, Feijoa seedling, some pomegranate seedlings. The guava got a bit munched up by the caterpillars. Jackfruit, it's doing all right. Another taro. The Myorga ginger's not looking incredible. It got like dug out by a bush turkey, for no reason. I don't know why. I guess it saw something in there. Anyway, it's not doing too great, but hopefully it comes good. Ice cream bean, after pruning, put out a whole load of new growth. It's doing all right. Another Australian native, the native currant. This one here. It flowered but didn't set any fruit. It's doing okay though. Yeah, maybe it could consider. Yeah, it might be nice to put this one in the ground. Other things are doing okay. My guava air layer still hasn't pushed any leaves after I had to get rid of everything, but it's still green and it should have roots still. But I'm tempted to. Oh, it's pretty solid in there. Oh yeah, wow, that actually is not pulling out at all. So maybe that's a good sign. Anyway, then we've got this is the Giboticaba, the castada, constantly sort of putting on new growth. They get real eaten up by the caterpillars. And this is the red hybrid, which also tends to be a bit more of a constant grower during the growing season, as opposed to here we have a Sabara, or just the Plinia cauliflora. This is grafted. But it puts out sort of flushes of growth. So it put out a big flush of new growth in September and hasn't done anything since, but it's actually peeling bark at the moment, which is a good sign that it's healthy. It looks quite good. Then in here we just got other stuff. We've got Suriname cherries, which are putting on growth. These ones are, really good, really vigorous growers, easy to grow. A cha-cha seedling, I grew this from seed. I think it's my oldest one. So it's definitely at least, yeah, maybe a year and a half old almost. Star apple, once it gets warm, doesn't really stop growing. It's looking okay. Looking okay. Nice. Didn't really suffer too much damage over winter, but the previous winter really knocked it around. But I think it was more lack of water. Oh, let's drop that. Loquat seedling. This is my biggest one. This is one of the first plants I grew from seed when I sort of got back into gardening about, yeah, just over 2 years ago now. So this is about 2 years old. And this is a seedling from a tree that we grew, or we had, that was from Bunnings, that produced fruit of not very good quality, and I just grew the seed. This is probably the most vigorous seedling out of the bunch. The grafter one you saw before is also a seedling from that tree. But this one I've recently pruned the top off so it branches, and I'm planning to graft onto this one as well. May remove this leaf as it gets in the way. This is also just getting eaten. Frustrating. Giant Lau, Syzygium megacarpa, giant leaves, surprisingly cold tolerant. No real sign of cold damage. It did completely stop growing over winter, but weak to the wind for sure. Like, these leaves are so sensitive when they come out. They just got torn by the wind, and this one became kind of deformed as a result. But like, the leaves are huge. They're like 30 centimeters long. They're big. They're real big, nice leaves. I mean, that's more than 30 centimeters. Another white sapote seedling. This one's getting a bit eaten. Around here we got the Kwai Mook, which doesn't really stop growing either. And I thought this was meant to be partially deciduous, but it hasn't done a full drop of leaves. Tamarind has finally pushed out leaves. It got to basically summer by the time this... It held a few leaves after winter, but basically dropped everything. Basically deciduous in a temperate climate. These are really surprisingly cold hardy. I think as long as you don't get frost, you can probably grow this tamarind. It's a legume, so they fix nitrogen. They're very fast growing once they get going. See, it does have get some dieback over winter, so it's died back to about there. And at the top here, it's died back. You can see it died. That part died, but then this part stayed good, and it's pushing out leaves now. And once it gets growing, it's really going to grow. And I think this year it's going to grow so much. I'll have to consider really what I'm going to do with it. Here we've got the Jamun, Syzygium jambos, Jambalan plum. It's getting a bit eaten. The Syzygium and anything in the myrtle family seems to, like, caterpillars really love them. So they just get eaten. Anyway, it's doing okay. It's pretty healthy. It's grown a considerable amount, probably like already 20-30 centimeters this year, since spring. Got my Abiu seedlings. They're both doing pretty well. Absolute scale magnets. Get rid of some of that when you can. But otherwise they're pretty good. Maybe need a bit more water. Various seedlings, Davidson plum seedlings. This is a Sapodea seedling. Then around here, got the cherry of the Rio Grande. I bought as cherry of the Rio Grande, but I'm never going to know until it flowers and fruits if it really is, because it looks so much like a pitomba, but the leaves are very different in texture. So I have these two little pitomba, which is, I forget even what the name of it's, Eugenia something. Luciana, and this is, well, Aggregata's the old name. I think it's got a different one. Then various things here. These are Relinia seedlings. And more dragon fruit. Monstera that I propagated myself from a large plant I had. Isn't that so cool? I just came back and then it's put out a leaf now. It's got its little holes in it too. That looks awesome. But I don't think I'll hang on to too many of those. I might try and see if people want them and maybe sell them. The pear seedling, this one's looking quite good. Apricot I grew from seed. Pineapple, this one's one of the bigger ones. It's doing quite well. Davidson plum, looking to try and get this in the ground somewhere. Jackfruit seedlings, they're growing well. These are probably, no, they're not even a year old. They're not even a year, maybe 9 months old now. So they're doing fine. Just got a jackfruit, you just got to have it in the right mix, well draining. Feijoa I grew from seed. This is a year and a half old. A year and a half old? Yeah, something like that. Look how big it is. It's really branched out like crazy. Got munched up by the caterpillars, but it's gone again. I wouldn't be surprised if in another, in about 3 to 4 years, I'm expecting this to flower and perhaps fruit. So, Feijoa, I think they're a good one to grow from seed. They're fast growing. Fast growing, attractive foliage. Yeah, I mean, you could buy a grafted one, but I think seedlings make a good edible hedge, and I think they have a good chance at being like not bad to eat from seed. Other various things I grew from seed: nectarine, from a seedling of a gold mine nectarine, fairly low chill variety. Apple I grew from seed. These were all from Fuji apples. Other various things under here, some mangoes I'm growing from seed. This is a Suriname cherry, more pineapples. I'm going to sort of rearrange this stuff. Some coffee. The meringue. The one surviving meringue. Still alive. Yeah, it's doing okay. I wondered if it might die in the heat wave, but it didn't. It seemed to like the heat. They love the heat, not the cold. Okay, moving over here. Biggest jackfruit. This one is a seedling of a galaxy seedling I bought from Dailies. Had this one almost a year. It's growing pretty well. I would honestly like to try grafting onto it, but I don't have anything to do that with at the moment. Don't have access to science, so it's got a bit eaten too. This is the bolwara, or native guava. It really looked like, before I went away, it looked like it was going to flower, and I missed the flowers. So it's flowered, and then these are the fruits. The fruit, it looks so weird, huh? It doesn't even look like a fruit at all, but this is like a super ancient plant, ancient rainforest plant. It's native to most of Australia's east coast. Looks like this might have bought. This one's gone kind of yellow, but the fruit's not meant to be ready until like end of summer. I think, or to autumn. I think it's meant to have quite a lot of seeds, but this is related to Annona. Another Monstera here, cool looking leaf. More little Relinia seedlings. Look, this is my star fruit. This was a carry, grafted one. It got root rot because I had it in crappy potting mix, and then it's now in kind of slightly better but still crappy potting mix. So I may, just in a last ditch effort to keep it alive, I think I'll repot it. Into some better mix. It's died back a bit, but it's still got green once you get back to like there. So it may survive. This is the Imperial Star Apple, doing quite well. Gets a little bit of scale, but otherwise just needs water. Just needs to keep good drainage and good amount of water. But look at these lovely leaves, related to the regular star apple. Yeah, it gets its aphids as well, woolly aphids. Yeah, awesome, very rare, endangered rainforest plant from Brazil. Chrysophyllum imperiale. soursop. Always impressed by the soursop. Doesn't really stop growing. It's getting eaten a bit too, but it's doing well. It's doing well. And we got the kiwi berry, the isai, supposedly partially self-fertile. Made a flower, it made one flower, which didn't set a fruit, but it's still small. I think I'm going to move this on. I have nowhere to grow this because it's a vine and it grows extremely large. It's already grown so much this year, so I can expect that, in another year it'll probably triple in size. But yeah. Then we got Rollinia seedling. Wow, look at that new leaf. That looks awesome. It was having some trouble for a while with the new growth looking all kind of bit dead, and it got a bit eaten. Anyway, it's looking better now. This thing, again, grows so fast. Out of the Annona that have impressed me the most really are soursop and Rollinia. Like, I think you should just if you're in Sydney and thinking about trying to grow tropical fruit, not that I've had Rollinia, so I can't vouch on the flavour, but loads of people rave about it. It's pretty easy to grow. It's somewhat cold tolerant. So if you're in an area of Sydney that doesn't get frost, and I mean most of Sydney doesn't get frost, I think you have a very good shot at growing this plant. When the leaves don't look like this one still is hanging on from after winter. When the new leaves come out like this, it looks extremely attractive. It's very fast growing, pretty disease resistant, and yeah, I would recommend it. We've got other various things in here. There's another Rollinia seedling. And so there's, even from seed, that's like grows pretty fast. These are some achacha grafts that I've done. We can take a look. What's happening here? Is anything happening? Hard to tell. Hard to tell. But these are meant to take a while, and I was away, so they didn't probably get enough water. I'll put that back on later. Grimmel Jaboticaba, it's just peeled its bark. I have a few grafts on this, but I don't think they're going to take. These grafts are from ages ago, from like June. Anyway, it looks like it's getting ready to put out another flush of growth. Grimmel being like a variety of cauliflora, Plinia cauliflora, like the Sabra Jaboticaba. Yeah, has a similar growth habit in which it sort of puts out flushes of growth, like a few flushes in a year, rather than more constant growing. Wampy flowered, but didn't set a fruit. This is a grafted. This is Yeem Pei, variety's Yeem Pei. Anyway, I've never tried the fruit of this, but it's in the citrus family, and meant to be, fairly tasty. Rose apple put on a lot of new growth at the early spring, and is just now pushing some new growth again, a new flush, if you can see there, a little red bud pushing. Yeah, rose apple's good. I'd recommend rose apple as well. Took a while for it to get established, but once it got established, it's grown well. My canistel seedling, look at that. Look at all that new growth. I chopped off the top again to do these grafts, which this one definitely didn't take. This was a canistel, and then I think what it appeared to take, this was an E4 Abiu scion I got from Ben at Sydney Fruit Gardening and grafted it on. And it looked like it was pushing, but I don't think it's taken. I think it's just kicked the bucket there. But otherwise, yeah, look at the growth. That must be like 40 centimeters there. So canistel, again, pretty good for Sydney, and they can take the heat. Not like 40 degrees direct sun exactly, but they can easily take heat, although I have it here in a lot of shade. But they can take the heat much better than a lot of tropical plants can. They like the heat. So it's done that after, we've had the heat wave. And they're pretty cold tolerant as well. My Kampong white sapote has come back. So really says a lot about, it had root rot, it had barely any roots. I had it in garbage potting mix, and I've repotted it now in my own potting mix. and after all that heat, it brought it back to life. Obviously it got watered too, but yeah, I think this is from below the graft. So I might actually decide to leave this and then graft onto that as well. It's hard to tell where the graft is, but I'm pretty sure the graft looks like it was done here. So this will be Kampong at the top here, which is meant to be a self-pollinating variety, and that's why I got it, because I thought I would only want to have one. Oh, look, there's a caterpillar. Grab that, okay. Yeah, if this is a seedling, I might let this branch grow and graft onto it so I can get more varieties. Kampong isn't meant to be an incredibly good tasting one, so it might be nice to collect some others and graft them on the one tree. I also have the seedlings to graft onto as well. Grimachama, orange Grimachama, this also had root rot, and I repotted it into, yep, again, tooting my own horn with the potting mix, or just any, like, you know, yeah, I would recommend making your own potting mix, especially if you're going to be growing plants in pots for an extended period of time. Potting mix that you buy from the big box store doesn't really go well with that. The Ilama, pink Ilama, is doing okay. Leaves have got a bit eaten, but it keeps on growing. It looks a bit battered, but it's doing all right. Yeah, it's doing all right. And then we've got the Poshti. This thing's doing quite well. Annona scleroderma looks a bit like soursop, but has bigger leaves. Yes, I might consider repotting it, but it's doing pretty well. Then we've got sugar apple, which I got recently. Just getting eaten up by the caterpillars. Really annoying. Yeah, it's getting really eaten, but it's doing okay as well. Mango seedling, acerola. Oh, it's got these little moths. These must be from the butterflies. I mean the caterpillars, but yeah, it's flowered a few times, hasn't set any fruit yet, but this thing's a cutting. Florida Sweet is the variety. It just grows like crazy. I don't know what to do with it now. Maybe try and make some cuttings myself, but it does really grow a lot. It took a year to get established. It does also get this leaf miner, which I don't know what it is, but it gets some leaf miner thing. It doesn't seem to affect it too badly. But it's a good grower. I'd recommend acerola as well. And then in there we've got, again, the Suriname cherries. Another little yellow jaboticaba. This one in there, yellow jaboticaba seedling. Brazilian guava, Psidium guineense. Another one I would recommend. It's a small fruit, tastes very nice. Bit like a regular guava, bit different, very strong flavor. Yeah, again, the caterpillar's just eating it, but it's a fast grower, and this is, I've only had this for like a year, not even a year, but it flowered again in spring. The bloody caterpillars ate like the fruitlets and the flowers, so didn't get any fruit set, but that's okay. Showed that already, Atherton raspberry, then a few other things, a blueberry. Again, the caterpillars ate my blueberries before they were ripe, so no blueberries this year, but that's okay, it's still small and then you'll be able to focus on growing. A few other things here, mango seedling, another Suriname cherry. This is the apple berry, and they also ate out the apple berries before they're ripe. These go kind of yellowish and soft when they're ripe, but they're green. This one actually could be eaten. I think apparently you can cook and eat them while they're green. This is another Australian native. It's like a little creeping vine. Pretty fast growing. And we've got my Sapodea. This was the Crussery Marcotte. I don't think this is coming back. It gets morning sun here. It's been kept moist. It's looking pretty bad. I don't think it's going to survive. It's partially my fault, because it was not in great potting mix. And I didn't really do a good job with it anyway. Take a quick look down here. There's not too much more to look at though. Bees have been going off today, the native bees. They're doing well. Warm. They were swarming so much this morning. Then a few things have died here. This gets a bit too much sun. Avocado seedlings, that's just dead. Whatever. Pineapples that I all grew from the tops. Oh no. And another monstera. Looks like it got half eaten. More pineapples. This is going quite well. The Japanese rock lily. It's like a rhizome type thing. Makes flowers that look like little spotted white orchids, but it's not an orchid. And a few other random seedlings like jackfruit, etc. But we'll just come up here and probably end off. That's how the plants are looking, how the garden's looking here in early December here in Sydney. We'll provide an update again soon, but everything's doing well. Growing strong now that we've got solid, consistent warm weather. Summer has truly started, but look forward to future updates. Until next time.